This is an example that is meant to show you how to create a linear equation. So the example we're going to use today is hypothetical. It never actually happened, but I think it's pretty funny, so I'm going to use it anyway. We're going to look at the relationship between UK basketball players, former UK basketball players, and how many tequila shots they take versus how many free throw shots they make. So we're looking at this table, and it gives us a description. We have Rajon Rondo, Keith Bogans, John Wall, Richie Farmer, and Tayshaun Prince. And we have all our different points that fill in how many tequila shots they each take and how many free throw shots they make. Our first question asks us, what is the relationship described above? Is it deterministic or is it stochastic? So in this situation, we're going to say it's actually a stochastic relationship. And we're going to say that it's stochastic because other factors are influencing how many free throw shots they make. So because other factors are influencing how many free throws are made. So examples would be it depends on, say, the different player's ability. So just even if none of them had any tequila shots, it could be feasible that Rajon Rondo and Keith Bogans still make a different amount of free throw shots. So there's other things that are affecting this relationship. So our second asks us to plot the data points provided in the table above. So if we look at our table, we have Rajon Rondo. He says 0 tequila shots, but he makes 27 free throw shots. So if we say 0 and 27, that's going to be right around here. Our next point, 1 tequila shot. So again, our tequila shots are here on our x-axis, and our free throws are on our y, so on our vertical axis. 1 tequila shot, 22 free throw shots. So that would put Keith Bogans right around here. John Wall, 2 tequila shots, 17 free throw shots. So this down here. 2 and 17, so he'd be right around in here. And then 3 and 12 for Richie Farmer. So Richie Farmer is going to be 3 and 12. And last but not least, Tayshaun Prince is 4 and 7. 4 tequila shots, but he makes 7 free throws. So about like that. So it asks us to plot the data points. We have officially plotted our data points. Our next section asks us, says, would you say that the two variables are positively, directly, or negatively, inversely related? So if we look back at our graph, you'll see that our points are sloped sort of downward. It's almost like we're going down a hill. And that's occurring because as our number of tequila shots are going up, our number of free throws are going down. So the more tequila shots you take, the less baskets you make. And so that's indicative of a negative relationship. So we're going to say that this is, that these variables are negatively related. We're going to say they're negatively related because the more tequila shots you take, the less free throws you make. Looking back at our graph, we see that it's downward sloping, sort of like you're going down a mountain. If we were going up a mountain, if it looked like it was more positively sloped, that would be indicative of our positive relationship. So if instead the more tequila shots you took, the more free throws you made, that would be a positive relationship. Alright. Our next part, find the linear equation representing the relationship between the two variables. Hint, find y equals mx plus b, and then graph the linear equation on our graph. Okay, so finding our linear equation representing our relationship, it gives us a hint. This y equals mx plus b form, that is just one form. You can write it in different forms, but this is a very, very simple way, and that's the way we're going to choose to do it here. This equation, we have m and we have b. M represents our slope of our line, and b is going to represent our y-intercept of our line. And then for our specific example, we're going to say that x is to kiloshots, so our vertical axis here is to kiloshots, and then our horizontal axis is to kiloshots, so it's our x, and then our vertical axis, our y, is our number of free throw shots. So down here we say x equals to kiloshots, y equals free throw shots. Alright, and then to start with, we're going to go ahead and try and calculate our slope. We're going to try and calculate that m. And usually we say slope is equal to rise over run. That just means the difference in the vertical over the distance in the horizontal. So an easy way for us to mathematically interpret that is y2 minus y1, all of that over x2 minus x1. And y2 and y1 and x2 and x1, those come from our coordinates for our points from our graph. And our coordinates of our points were found right up here in our table. So I just chose 2 points. We could have chosen all, we could have chosen other 2, we could have chosen a mixture. It doesn't matter because it's a linear equation. If it was curved, we'd have to be a little bit more careful, but for a linear equation, this is fine. So the 4 yellow boxes, those are the points, those are the coordinates of the points that I decided to choose. So I picked Richie Farmer and Tayshaun Prince. So 3 and 12 and 4 and 7. So if you come down here in our yellow here, I said x1, y1 equals 4, 7, so that is 1 point, and then x2, y2 equals 3, 12, that is our second point. It's important to note that in our slope equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, the 2 subscript and the 1 subscript are in the same order. So if instead you had said y2 minus y1 over x1 minus x2 and kind of flipped the order of them, you'd get the wrong answer most of the time. Sometimes it happens that things work out and you will magically have the right answer. Most of the time you will get it wrong, so you really have to be careful about the order. So using our points that I picked from above, I'm going to fill in our the rest of our equation. So y2, we get it from x2 comma y2, so that would be our 12. And we're going to say minus y1, and y1 is 7. And then we're going to say x2, which is 3, minus our x1, which is 4. So we say 12 minus 7, well that's just 5. And 3 minus 4 is negative 1. So 5 divided by negative 1 is just negative 5. So our slope is negative 5, our m is negative 5. Now the second piece that we're supposed to be finding for our y equals mx plus b formula is the b part. We found m, now we need b. And in this situation, there's actually 2 different ways we can find it. One way is very simple. We can go up to our graph and we can just see where x equals 0. So where our tequila shots equals 0, we're going to be on that y vertical axis where it crosses it, and it's going to be right there at 27. And we know that because we plotted the points from this table, and Rajon Rondo, when he had 0 tequila shots, he had 27 free throws. So that would give us our y-intercept directly. So our first method is just to look at the points and choose the y-intercept from where x equals 0. And this ends up giving us a b of 27. Sometimes we are not going to have it quite laid out for us. Maybe we're given a bunch of points, but one of the points is not the y-intercept point, in which case we're going to have to work through it the long way. So we're going to do that now, but we'll have this as a nice check to make sure that we're doing it right. So for method 2, we're going to use the slope that we calculated before, which is negative 5, and we're going to plug it in for m. After we've plugged it in for m, then we're going to go in and we're going to pick another point. So we can pick the same point, so let's just pick that first point again, so that x1, y1, 4, 7, and we're going to plug it in for y and x. Now, the equation itself, y and x represent all the different y's and all the different x's. To find our specific b, we're going to pick our specific point. I could have picked any of the points, it'll still give us the same answer. So we're going to pick x1, y1, so our y in that situation is 7, and we're going to say negative 5 times our x, and our x in this case is 4. And then we're going to say plus b, and eventually that's what we're going to be solving for, is that b. So then our 7, we're just going to do some simple math, so we're going to say 7 equals, and then we have negative 5 times 4, that is just negative 20, plus b. Now we need to try and get that negative 20 away from both sides. So you get rid of a negative 20 by adding a positive 20 to both sides. So we're going to say 7 plus 20 is equal to negative 20 plus b plus 20. And then our negative 20 and our positive 20 cancel each other out, and we have 7 plus 20, which is just 27, equals our b, because the negative 20 and the 20 canceled. So what is our b? Our b is 27. Well, that's what we found before, so we know that we did it correctly. Even though we found b and we found m, technically we haven't done our linear equation yet, which is what our question originally asked for. So let's fill in our linear equation. We're going to say y is equal to our mx plus b, but we have found m now, so we know that our m is negative 5, and then we have our x, and then our plus b, we already know what b is, so we have 27. So that would be our linear equation of a line. And then it shows us y and x, as in y being our free throws and x being our tequila shots. We can plug in anything we want for x to get what we, so any number of tequila shots, and we can get a guess as to how many free throws that our players are going to make. Then how do we interpret the slope? So the slope, again, our m, our negative 5, our slope tells us how y changes when x changes by 1 unit. So in this case, it tells us how the number of free throws changes when 1 additional tequila shot is taken. So for our interpretation, we're going to say for each additional tequila shot taken, we're going to have our number of free throws decreasing by 5. So negative would be the decreasing. If it was positive, it'd be increasing. So by 5 free throws. And we have now officially completed all of the assignment, and hopefully you'll be able to find your own linear equation in other situations.